Okay, well, listen, you're all very, very joyful. And boy, oh boy, finally, we are seeing some rare images of joy after a ceasefire deal was finalized, or at least signed. We saw and continue to see images like this, where Israelis are celebrating the return of the last 20 living hostages. Palestinians are welcoming nearly 2,000 free detainees. And although there is a whole lot of uncertainty when it comes to, hey, what is next, amid unresolved issues like Hamas disarmament and also Gaza governance, we're going to start with you, Elamine. The question we want to really kind of ponder today is, are you hopeful right now?
An easy question. Thank you for that. I honestly, I think of hope as a political thing, and hope as a very particular thing. To me, hope is a long-term process. You know, my dear friend. Well, look, my dear friend Omar Alekad wrote this book that came out earlier this year that said, "One day everyone will have always been against this." And what he was writing about, at the very start of the war, was talking about seeing the cities and so much destruction in Gaza, and saying at a certain point, the public opinion will boomerang around to say so many people who have always been against this. And you're kind of seeing that now. You're seeing more people care about the Palestinian cause than they have before. And that is a reason for hope for me. But it also has arrived kind of later than I thought it would. I think some of the images of destruction, they've been around for some time. So to start to see people kind of get on board and care now, I'm really grateful for that. I was hopeful watching those images, but also at the same time, I can't help but think of Omar's words in the book that he wrote that came out earlier this year.
Anybody else hopeful-ish? Hopeful?
I mean, of course. I think you'd have to have a stone heart not to see some of those images of the hostages returning home and the Gazans being reunited with people who were imprisoned as well as other family members. Of course it's emotional, and of course there's a glimmer of hope. I can't help but, we have to acknowledge this deal is precarious. Even just now, just before we came to air, there was reports of at least 9 people being killed by Israeli fire. Israel has also accused Hamas of reneging on the plan that was agreed by not returning all of the bodies home. And as a result, they've closed one of the passages. So this is really complicated and tenuous. So I think also what I'm struck by, maybe this is also echoing some of what you're saying, is I think we all need time to mourn the fact that this took 2 years to even come to this. Why did it take so long to make a deal? Why is it? And then that Trump is taking all of the credit for this. It makes me wonder, what kind of a deal actually has been struck? And maybe we're not going to know.
And to that point, the fundamentals of the deal that was just struck is basically the same deal as it was on the table November 2023.
So how many lives could have been saved, right?
Tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands of Palestinians who've died in a bombing campaign that was relentless as we kept on watching it happen and happen. And then we kind of arrive at this point and say, okay, that's basically the same deal that was on the table in 2023. It's really startling.
Are you hopeful?
No, well, that's what tempers it for me. Just that there's, it's not so much the uncertainty, which is a big part of it, but it's also this feeling that just, I can't, it's not, I don't know if it's real, but just this sensation that we're not hearing everything. And so my hopefulness is embracing myself. I mean, I'm Hungarian, so we don't really do optimism or joy.
What do you do?
But it's just suspicion. What else is going on? What are the hidden costs that we don't know about? When you see Jared Kushner in there, he just looks like Voldemort before he's reformed. Something hinky is going on underneath. There's some, I don't...
Does Voldemort reform in the book? Was there an 8th book?
Reform into his full self. So there's, I worry that what is happening is the people in power are somehow profiting for this, or it's to their benefit, and that what still isn't being centered or prioritized is humanity. I would love, for me to feel hopeful, is for world leaders to just say, you know what, we have really gotten this wrong. We are not into money, power, oil, land, and we really are just going to focus back on the people and build them up. And to hear myself say it, it's somehow abundance is an impossible idea, but scarcity is okay, let's just do that. Let's always feel like we need to pit people against each other.
I hear what you're saying. The sad part for me is, I will say this, I am actually hopeful. I know it's a long shot. A lot of it is a long shot right now. But here's the thing, for me, it's actually the opposite. I'm hopeful for the same and different reason than you are, Elvira, because I know that politicians are not doing it to save humanity, because it would have never gone on for 2 years. This has never actually been about humanity. And I actually think, I'm gonna say something wild here, but I actually think one of the reasons I'm very hopeful is two things. Number one, you actually saw joy and jubilation on both sides of the border, both in Palestine and in Israel. People are celebrating, and that in and of itself is something so powerful. There's been so much death and destruction and suffering, and people are done with it. We're done with it, they're done with it. So something makes me feel like, okay, there's hope there, but more cynically, you know what Trump really likes more than Trump? Money. And he keeps saying the same thing over and over again. It is time for peace and prosperity in the Middle East. What Trump, I think, is his ego really thrives on is being known as the deal maker. So he's gone in there and said, guys, I struck up a deal. There's peace in the Middle East, because he wants to make deals, I think, with all of the Arab nations that have come to the table, like Egypt and Turkey. He wants normalized relations.
Did you start by saying you're more hopeful? Like, that's the...
I know, because his ego doesn't want this to fail.
Okay.
I think Trump's ego wants this to succeed, and not because he cares about people, but because he cares about money and deals being made in the Middle East.
That still feels... But that still feels like when that is your priority, to me, it just feels like, well, that is easy to break apart or fall down, or to have somebody...
It feels precarious, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
precarious.
And I will say that, like, the B-roll that you rolled off the top, which was wonderful, like, one of the rare things that you saw in there is Palestinian joy. That's a thing that you've not seen for some time. And like that's been a deliberate thing. It's been a deliberate thing because like we've seen the reports of Israel saying like, hey, when families are reunited, there shouldn't be cameras allowed. These celebrations should not be sort of present to public. That's the thing that has shifted. That's the thing that's like new and has changed. And so to even just see images of Palestinian joy, that's new to me. I'll take that hope.
Sure.
You know?
You'll take that hope.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. We do hope it holds.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.